Well, my research interest is in computational biochemistry, and this usually means using computers to solve biochemical problems or to simulate biochemical processes. So I have one group of students that's working on simulations of separation processes, electrophoresis, chromatography, mass spectrometry, and that's a Java application they've been working on for, well, gosh, almost 20 years, maybe more than 20 years. And another group of students is working on software to align protein active sites in the hopes that we can predict the function of proteins based on the amino acids that are found in certain locations in the proteins. And so they've developed some software called ProMol that goes with a molecular visualization program called PyMol. And there's a library of about 1,000 enzyme active sites in there, and so you can put a protein in there and compare it to that library, and it'll tell you which one it's closest to. And so we've taken that, in the process of the students developing the software, we also had other students come in and test the software and basically run all the structures through that they could. And then I was happy with the results they got at that point, but they wanted to go in the lab and find out if they were right, if they had predicted properly or correctly. And so we actually got the plasmids that contained the genes for those proteins, expressed them, purified them, and got some substrates and tried to run some assays. And sometimes they worked. So that was pretty exciting. And we did that in the research lab, and it was so effective that we thought, could we possibly do this in a teaching lab session, like in just like a 3-hour lab that meets once a week? And so we tried to design some modules for that. We did design some modules for that, and I'm a part of a team of, I think we have 11 or 12 or 13 faculty now that work on that on 8 different campuses. And so we're implementing this whole process of predicting the function of unknown proteins using first software. We use our own software, but we also use BLAST, DALI, and PFAM. And so try to get a consensus from those different sources, and then from there try to identify a substrate that they can test the activity on. And so we're doing that now with our students. We're developing ways for the students to communicate with each other anonymously, because we want to make sure we protect their identities. That's important in some cases. And just out of respect, I think, for more than anything. And and once we have those pieces in place, we're trying to get more people involved. I actually like to get the students when they're first-year students, because they come in really interested in science, really excited. I like the ones that are highly motivated, and they come in and they don't have these preconceived notions. So, as a biochemist who's been doing certain things for like 30, 35 years, I've got the blinders on, right? They don't have the blinders on yet. So they see things that I would just dismiss if I saw them. And they ask questions that I wouldn't ask because I know that those aren't good questions to ask. But they ask the questions and I let them pursue them. And sometimes it turns out that they're not good questions to ask. Or actually that they don't lead us anywhere. But sometimes they lead us places we've never been before. And that's really exciting. And I like the enthusiasm. I especially love bringing them to meetings after they've actually made some progress. So they've got a poster or a paper they've published. And they come to these meetings thinking, well, I'm nothing special. And they talk to other scientists and they realize, I'm part of this community. I can do this. I can talk to these people. Yeah, I know maybe they've got PhDs, maybe they've been professors or they've been captains of industry for 30 or 40 years. I can talk to these people. And it's really fun to see them get engaged that way. It's also fun to see them look at the other students and meet them and talk about what are your dreams, what are your hopes, and kind of get that idea of, we're going places. And that mentality of we're going places and we can do this is really exciting. And I think we need that encouragement. I know I do. And I think all of us need that kind of encouragement, and getting the encouragement from meeting more senior people that respect them tells them a lot. Meeting their peers and developing the rapport also tells them a lot. So they can see, yeah, okay, I'm respected by the senior people, but I'm also part of this community of people who are like 23, 24, 21, 18, 19 like I am, and they're part of it. And I guess, one of the things I want to communicate, when I gave the talk yesterday, I didn't say, you belong here. I mean, if you've got a poster up, you belong here. If you've published a paper, you belong here. If you talk to other scientists about science, you belong here. I was thrilled and surprised. This is, to me, this is the highest award in my field. This is acknowledgement from my peers, from people who know me and love me, people who've been my friends. We've been doing this together I mean, as soon as I started showing up at ASB&B meetings as a faculty member, I connected with these folks. So that was probably 23, 24 years ago. And really good relationships with really good people that I really respect. I was surprised because I had understood I was nominated some years ago. But nothing happened, and we never, I never got an acknowledgement saying, thanks, you were nominated, but you didn't win. I didn't hear anything. So I just kind of let it slide and thought, well, I was really honored that one of my friends nominated me. And then they notified me, and so I called him up immediately saying, yeah, for sure, I want the award. When I opened the email, and it said ASB&B Award for Exemplary Contributions to Education, and I thought, oh, they're probably calling for nominations. And the email started off with congratulations. I said, really? And I read it, and it said, if you're interested in receiving the award, please contact us. And so I was on the phone in 10 seconds calling back because I wanted to make sure this was for real, and to tell them that I was just thrilled and delighted, and I really am. I look around at my peers and I think there are many, many very deserving people out there, and I'm deeply honored that I was chosen by my peers. But I also have to embrace that, and realize that they admire me, and I that means an awful lot.